Hi, my name is Demi, and I'd like to tell you about my IELTS experience. It all started when I was taking a PhD in a prestigious university in Nigeria, and I was not moving forward. I was taking a lot of topics to my supervisor, and it seemed as if PhD was for like 20 years. At 5 years mark, I decided to immigrate to Canada, and IELTS was one of the things that I had to get out of the way. My first experience, I remember it was quite a long distance, about 45 minutes drive. Getting to the location, I saw thousands of people. It dawned on me that this was not just the usual easy peasy examination. The written one was not computer based at the time, and it was kind of easy to my understanding, but I failed. By the time that I did the second exam, my weak point was the writing. Now I had seen that I could pass the other three modules freely, but writing I was just getting 6.5, 5.4, 5.5, and sometimes I go for the remark and it doesn't get boosted. So, and I'd already spent a lot financially. I'd gotten different material. Every time I fail, I get a new material. And the fact that I was in Nigeria, I was actually buying the material that was actually, the currency was not from my country. And it was actually, the financial implication was really high on my family. But I was not going to back down because failure was not an option for me. I needed to get a result that would take me to Canada. And my husband said, stop. I didn't stop. Now the third exam was actually staring in my face at that time. And the third exam also, I failed. It was writing. And I was wondering, what do they want me to write? What do the examiners want me to write? At the point I was thinking, it was actually a fraudulent examination. How come I was failing? I was actually going to be I was doing a PhD. I was wondering, I'm supposed to be a doctor soon. Why is it that I was actually failing? So I did the exam, third exam, still the writing, I failed. Then fourth exam, I failed, writing. Fifth exam, I failed again, and it was still writing. So by the seventh exam, I actually had to go to a neighboring city, that was Abeokuta, to take the exam because I was thinking legal centers were actually failing students, and I just wanted to go to another center that would actually give me a pass because I was wondering what's in writing. And the Abeokuta experience, I actually even failed the writing more. I think from 6.5 I went to 5.5 for the writing. Then I felt it's possible this is a spiritual problem. So my husband was already frustrated, but there was just the mindset I had that if I was failing the exams, there was something in it for me, and that God would not, He wouldn't want me to fail. I was actually having the dreams of Canada, shopping in Canada and all that. So I continued. My parents were so supportive, and they just wanted I and my family to move forward. And I actually told them about the Canadian dream. They were actually supporting my PhD, and they were like, finish your PhD. And I was like, no, I'm not going to finish it. So I couldn't tell them, I couldn't disappoint them. And they are giving me the proof of fun, because I told them, oh, I passed. I told them I passed. And I was actually feeling, I didn't want them to take the proof of fun from me, and I wanted the Canadian dream. So I was in the middle of the deep blue sea and probably the whale. Now, I was just telling my parents, oh, the lockdown was the issue, they were processing my application, and I had not passed my IELTS. I was spending the proof of fund to make sure that I passed, because I knew immediately I passed, I would be picked from the pool. So it was as if I could do this next month. This could happen for me. Lies was piling upon lies. I had to pass. It was actually a do or must do. On the 8th attempt, I booked Abuja. Abuja is the capital city of Nigeria. And I had to take my flight to Abuja from Lagos. My husband dropped me. And when I got to Abuja, I actually met with a cab guy that actually passed IELTS. Now, what he told me was that he passed it once, and I was like, wow, that's what I'm talking about. Abuja is going to be the golden city for me. So he took me to the hotel. I actually ordered some food, not from the hotel, from another place. And by the time I had done with eating the food, I was not okay at all. So I vomited. I was throwing up, and I had tummy discomfort, and it was just a day-to-day exam. Now, I spent on the flight to and fro, I spent on the hotel, I spent on food, I spent on a lot of things. Now, the proof of fund was actually going down. Now, the next day of exam, the cab guy came to pick me from the hotel and also took me down to the center. I managed to write the exam. This time around also, I failed the writing. So I knew that the centers, it wasn't just about the Lagos Center, Abeokuta Center, or the Abuja Center. There was something that wasn't doing right. And the 9th attempt actually came. After the 8th attempt that I failed, and that was back from Abuja, I and my husband sat down, and he told me that we could have used the money to kind of invest big in Nigeria. And I understood, but he told me that we should stop. And I said, okay, no problem, we'll stop. But deep down I knew that I was not going to stop. So I just gave it a pause for I think a month or 2, and I booked behind it. I booked the exam behind him. I didn't let him know that he just saw that this girl is reading for IELTS. What's going on? I just told him, I'm just reading, I'm just going through it. He didn't know. I had actually booked the exam. And this time around, I booked the exam at Abeokuta, the same place I failed, because I knew that I had a problem. So at the 9th attempt, I knew the issue I was having. The issue I was having was the proper use of words. So there are times that I use a verb or a doing word in a sentence, and it wasn't conjugating well with the sentence. Now in Nigeria, I could say that, hello, sweetheart, please, could you get me the drug in the pharmacy? Now, when we talk about drugs, probably we're talking about hard drugs. Now, when you're talking about a drug that it's actually from the hospital, you should be talking about medication. Now, those were the little mistakes I was making. So in an essay, I talk about, IELTS essays are talking about probably a lot of environmental stuff, climate. So I knew the vocabularies, but I wasn't using them well. So those were the issues I was having. So the 9th attempt, I passed. Now that I had a low score, what province would accept me with my score? I couldn't go with the federal pool anymore. I had to look for provinces that would help me out. Now, Ontario came into the picture, and luckily I'm in the tech space, so I applied as a data analyst, and I got it. And that's why I'm in Canada today. Thank you, Ontario.